In this video, Salesforce CEO Marc Benioff emphasizes the critical role of technology within healthcare and predicts that Microsoft is likely to prioritize the development of its own AI models, especially amidst tension within OpenAI's leadership. Marc reflects on the evolving AI landscape, expressing skepticism about Microsoft's incorporation of OpenAI, likening it to the ineffective Clippy. He argues that the true AI should enhance collaboration between humans and machines and highlights his positive interactions with AI at the World Economic Forum, showcasing its potential to improve everyday experiences.
But Larry has a vision for the future of healthcare, and that's also why he bought Cerner. That's why he's been focused on these incredible Ellison Institutes in Los Angeles and in Oxford, England. And they have a vision that they're going to kind of use the technology that kind of was pioneered at Grail, you know, where you get a blood test so you can see what's going on in your blood, but then use AI and then build therapeutics for each individual based on it. It's incredible.
Do you think this is going to impact perhaps your biggest competitor, Microsoft, in that OpenAI was exclusive to Azure and now they're going to be on other platforms? Does that matter to a company like yours?
I think it's extremely important that OpenAI gets to other platforms quickly because Microsoft is building their own AI, and I don't think that Microsoft will use OpenAI in the future. They'll have their own frontier models. They've said it very clearly that it's too expensive and too hard for them and that they want to have their own. That's why they hired Mustafa Suleyman, and Mustafa Suleyman and Sam Altman are not best friends.
So you think this is the beginning of the fissure? Like you're actually, this may be the moment?
I think that happened actually quite a while ago.
You think it happened a while ago, but in terms of...
It actually happened a year ago here in Davos, where Sam and Mustafa were both on panels together and were, you know, not getting along well, persona non grata.
One last related question. Were you surprised at the deal insofar as you had Sam Altman standing behind the presidential podium? He, of course, is the great nemesis of Donald Trump's great friend, Elon Musk, your great friend.
This is a moment where we all have to regain our beginner's mind, a phrase that I, you know, cherished myself when I started my meditation this morning, you know, this Japanese idea, shoshin, regain your beginner's mind. I think with this political administration, we're all going to need to regain our beginner's mind and see how things are going to play out.
So how's that been for you, though? I'm curious, actually, as somebody who's been a Democrat for many years, you have this election, you're seeing it all play out in front of you.
Yeah.
I've
actually never been a Democrat. I was a Republican for many years. I was in the Bush administration, and then I became an independent after that. And look, I have said I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I've worked now with 5 or 6 different presidents. I can work with anyone. That is how I roll. That's important to me. I'll do whatever I can to support the administration, and I will root for the United States of America. I'm an American.
What do you make
that's my number one?
What do you make of big
most
tech
important
going
thing.
to Washington, though, right now?
That is a moment. I think when you look at those
no, it is a moment.
But
what do you think of that?
I don't think that I've ever seen some of those images with everybody together. You know, these aren't best friends who are all gathered together. It looks like they're having a party together. They're all actually, very serious competitors. But
there's some people
very serious.
There's some people who are very excited about that.
Yeah.
And then there are other people who say that they're bending at the knee.
No. Number one.
How do you see it?
Number one, the United States of America has a tremendous lead in artificial intelligence and in technology. The vast majority of the frontier models, the AI, the research that's come out of our universities, and you're seeing that manifest into our tech companies. And that's what's incredible. And then you see that right here play out at the administration, where these are the leaders of all the most important companies. They're all Americans.
One of the reasons I so desperately wanted to talk to you this year, specifically here in Davos, is, so many of the things that emanated here that you and I have talked about over the years that related around things like ESG and climate and other things. I think it's fair to say that Davos man is under attack, meaning those ideas, the vibe shift is different.
Well, first of all, I don't agree. So number one, obviously, Donald Trump and Klaus Schwab, who's the head of the World Economic Forum, are very close friends. You know, Klaus Schwab and Donald Trump, they have a lot of time for each other.
Right.
And you're going to see Donald Trump here at this conference virtually, and I'm sure you're going to see him here next year physically. And he was here when he was president, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And I think that you know, you probably remember that I worked very hard on the Trillion Tree Initiative. It's an idea that I had. I brought it
Announced it here
with Donald Trump. I launched it here. And I think you have to find your way with Donald Trump on the things that he cares about. And one of the things that he cares about is actually things like trees, oceans, air. If you listen to what he says and you focus on those things, you can make a lot of progress.
Let's talk AI, because that's the topic du jour here if we're not talking about Washington these days. And I'm curious where you think we are.
Now we're finally talking about something important.
Here we are. You know, I saw Dario Modi yesterday from Anthropic. And the timeline with which he's now talking about, you know, something close to AGI is much shorter than I would imagine, 2, 3, 4 years out, at a time where you've been making comments that, you know, Microsoft's version of, you know, OpenAI is like Clippy.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to have these two ideas in my head that we're 2 or 3 years away from having to reshape society, and you saying that the thing doesn't even work.
Yeah, well, we already know Copilot has failed. You can see it has no adoption. It's just repackaged ChatGPT.
But that's not true.
Sure, you can talk to Gartner. You can read, you know, these analyst reports. It's not what AI was meant to be. What AI is meant to be is what we were just talking about. The World Economic Forum, you know, which is always use Salesforce as its fundamental data infrastructure, you know, is running this year with agents. That is, we have agents and humans working together for the first time here at the World Economic Forum. And that's incredible. It's just making everybody's lives so much easier. So I have a digital agent that I'm working with. We just went through it on my phone. And I'm able to work with it, talk to it. It knows what sessions I'm interested in, it knows who I'm friends with. And I'm having a much better experience here at Davos. And that is what AI was meant to be.